When I set out to do this, I had a concept that I want to entertain people, right? Who gets in front of a camera thinking, I don't want to entertain anybody? No, I want to entertain people. I want to make them smile, and I want to make them think. May have been missing from that original mission statement was helping people. I've been told here and there that some of the videos I've made have helped people, and at least as much as giving a different perspective or perhaps giving an outlook on an issue that they hadn't seen or heard before. So I started a little experiment this week with the idea of how can I actually help people by way of this channel in these videos. I've been told in the past that I do actually give pretty good advice when people come to me for help. Over the holidays, for example, I have a family member that was struggling to make some decisions about what they're going to do regarding a business opportunity. And this individual kind of came to me and said, can I ask your advice? I thought that's really an honor. I'm very honored that anybody would want to know what I think about how to deal with a problem. And as I started thinking through this even more, I realized that, I do have people that will come to me and want my advice and what I think about how they should handle a certain problem. So I'm going to take a crack at this and see if I can actually help people by way of an advice column. I put the word out this week on various social media platforms, letting people know that, I want to try to help you. I want to try and see if I can give you some useful advice to help you deal with either a problem you're trying to sort out, or a difficult decision you're trying to make, or if you're just not sure how you should handle a particular situation. My pledge is very simple. The advice that I give is unbiased. Situations like this, I'm not going to tend to be judgmental. I'm certainly not going to lecture or scold or talk down to anybody. Anybody that takes a moment to ask for help and ask for advice deserves to be respected for their courage to actually reach out and look for help. So my goal for anyone that does submit a question to my advice column is to offer, again, unbiased, common sense, honest advice on what I think you should do to deal with your situation, whatever that situation is. Surprisingly, I got some responses back. I should note that as part of this experiment, I went ahead and created a subreddit, something I never thought I would do. Reddit.com/advice_column is out there, and there'll of course be a link in the description below. So I'll come back to this series from time to time as I'm able to gather questions from the subreddit and see if there's anything I can do to help somebody out. So I got the first couple here that I'm going to take you through today. Of course, privacy is paramount. The names have been changed to protect the innocent, all that good stuff. All right, first question came to me on Twitter, and I'm going to say that came from username ThatTVGuy. And ThatTVGuy says, I have been out of work for some time. I'm just getting back into the workforce now, but I feel that my expectations may not be in line with what I'm about to experience. What's the best advice you can give me for starting a new job? Well, TV Guy, the best advice I can give you is be ready to potentially have your expectations not met at all. If you've been out of work for some time and you're not sure about the social cues in the workplace, then I would say the best advice I can give you is keep an open mind. You're going to run across folks that don't think the same way as your immediate family or your immediate circle of friends. Be prepared to encounter folks that look at the world completely differently than you do. Give you a couple quick bullet points that I live by, I swear by, and frankly, as someone who manages employees in a professional operation, I tell my employees this as well. Unless you are away from the work area, in the break room, off premises, avoid politics and religion. Those are two powder keg topics that can instantly wreck relationship you may have with somebody you just started working with. Those items are so polarizing that I don't think they really have a good place in any professional work environment, especially if you want that environment to be functional, efficient, and have everybody be able to work at their best level. The last piece of advice I'm going to give you, Mr. TV Guy, is tackle it. Go for it. Be the best you can at this new job, especially if you're just getting back into the workforce again. Don't be an overachiever and do not burn yourself out. You might be a little bit caught up in trying to be too good, too quick, and have everybody love you for being so awesome. While that may sound like a nice place to be, bottom line is it's not going to help relationships that you have with your coworkers and your team. You can absolutely be the best at what you do, but maintain your humility. Maintain that sense that you're grateful to be part of a group and to be productive in doing something that is enjoyable and, quite frankly, pays your bills. Thank you again to That TV Guy on Twitter. No, that's not his real name. Next one I have actually came by way of Reddit, and a young lady, username Samantha B. Based on the question she asked, I'm fairly certain this is not Samantha B from the Comedy Central show. Now, Samantha posted a pretty lengthy paragraph of a question. I'll paraphrase because it is a really long message that she posted, but 2 years ago, Samantha was in a relationship that ultimately failed. And when the relationship failed is when she discovered that she was pregnant. She has a happy, healthy 2-year-old son. She has a loving, supporting family around her, but she had struggled for a very long time to come to terms with whether or not to ever tell the father that he was indeed a father. What's more, and perhaps the part that convinced Samantha to reach out to someone for advice, is when she did come in contact again with the child's father and struggling with whether or not or how to tell him that he had a son. And from what Samantha explains in her message, the relationship was really not any better than when they were together and broke up the first time. In a recent conversation that unfortunately ended up being an argument, Samantha, I guess, chose that moment in the passion of an argument to tell him that the child was his. According to the post, the father did not take the news very well, did not respond in a very positive fashion, called her a liar, and severed communication again. So Samantha's question, what she's looking for advice on is there anything else that I should do at this point, or should I just walk away and focus on raising my son? I'm at a red light, so I'll give you the last part of Samantha's message here. She says, I feel sad in a way that he's not involved with his son, and my son won't know him growing up. But if he thinks I'm a liar, what am I supposed to do? I don't feel the need to do anything or prove to him the existence of his son, who he's never actually met. Any thoughts or advice on if I've handled this correctly, or if there's anything additional I should do? Well, Samantha, I want to give you credit, first of all, for being a good mother and hopefully raising your son with morals and values and raising him to be a loving and participating member of society. I think that sooner or later, at some point in your child's life, he is going to ask that question. He may have friends that do come from a two-parent household. By that point, you may be married to someone else, and that person may be a fantastic father to your son. But there's a good shot that sooner or later, your little boy may ask you some questions about who his biological father is and want to know more. Unfortunately, I have to tell you that that moment is gone. That moment is past. And as I said in the outset of this video, I don't want to be judgmental on anyone. I don't want to be judgmental towards anyone. You know, we make the decisions we make, whether they are thought out or in the heat of passion. But unfortunately, your decision to tell the father about his son could not have been more poorly timed. To bring out a statement like that in the middle of an argument, there's no way that you can have a positive outcome in that conversation. You've not informed him about his son in any way that's going to foster a desire or even an acceptance of the situation with the dad. You've brought this information out pretty much to use as a weapon in the middle of the argument. So I think the ship has sailed. I think that moment is past, and I honestly do not see a way that you can recover that relationship at this point. Going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, you've got a situation coming up in the future sometime that you're going to have to be prepared for. Your son is going to ask you questions. My advice to you is do not lie to him. When you have this inevitable conversation with your son, you have to be 100% open, honest, and transparent with him about everything. If you try to concoct a story or make up some scenario, you may get away with it for a little while, But sooner or later, the truth is going to come out. And then you're going to have a whole secondary problem on your hands, which is having to deal with now, potentially, a broken trust with your son. If your son finds out that this story you told him his whole life is a complete fabrication, that's now going to put you on a worse footing with your child. Additionally, I want to caution against trying to make yourself feel better by painting yourself as the good guy in the situation and using the rocky relationship you had with his father as a way to say, well, your father wasn't a good person, so we don't need him in our life. We don't want him in our life. Again, that's really no different than a fabrication and making it up. From the child's perspective, he has no base of reference. He has nothing to go on. And I just don't ever believe that it's a good idea to lie to your child in order to try to make yourself look better. Be open, be honest, tell him exactly what happened, and then give him that freedom to go out and find those answers for himself when he's an adult. All right, so that's my first attempt at giving out advice. I thank you to both the individuals that reached out. I hope that I can collect some more of these as time goes on, and I'll come back again when I have a couple more good ones that I can hopefully offer some type of advice. How did I do? Do you think that the advice that I gave these folks is logical, rational, makes sense, is healthy? Would you say anything different to these two people? First person trying to get acclimated to a new job environment, and the young lady trying to make decisions about how to raise her son as a single parent. If I did a good job, please give me a thumbs up and put it in the comments section below. If you've got any fair critiques, I'm going to ask some advice right now. Can you give me some advice on giving other people advice? If you want to submit a question, I would love to hear from you. If you've got something that I think I can help you with, I'll give you the 2 best ways to get a hold of me. If you're a Twitter user, jump over to twitter.com @drivemecrazy16. Send me a private message. You don't even have to follow me. That's okay. Or if you are a Redditor, then head on over to Reddit, reddit.com/advice_column, and post your question there. I hope I did a good job this first time around, and I want to thank you for listening along and for your thoughts and opinions on this advice column. If you are new to the channel, I would love to have you subscribe, take a look around, and see if there's other stuff here that you would like to watch. If you're already subscribed, please hit that bell next to the subscribe button so you get the notifications when the videos come out. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you on the road.